Boys Bible Study.
Boys Bible Study.
Boys Bible Study.
And some department stores even tell employees to avoid saying Merry Christmas.
Should I start AI companion for this one?
For this episode, I think you should.
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
Yeah,
I think it's so confusing that I know AI is just everywhere now, but Zoom asking me if I need an AI companion, it's like, oh, do you need somebody to talk to about something specific? It's like, what the fuck do you think I use Zoom for?
Yeah.
What is it?
What else would I use Zoom for?
Yeah.
I mean, is it just supposed so you can be like, I need to share my desktop, and then it does it for you?
Oh, I don't know.
Or maybe it just like takes notes.
Yeah.
Did you?
Maybe I should give it a chance.
Did you hear that story of one of our friends of ours who was on a Google Meet meeting where I was turned off? It was.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't. It didn't actually happen to her, but. The story of one of our friends who was on Google Meet, and
that's so scary.
Yeah, where
what
like
happened?
after, so the AI note taking was turned on, and then after most of the call ended, like two girls like remained on the call, and one of them made some crack like, God, I don't want to work here anymore or
she
whatever.
was quitting.
Or she was
telling all the reasons why she was quitting and just sort of like giving very like candid responses about people and like personalities and stuff. And
then after the call, Gemini by Google Meet wrote a summary of like why the girl was quitting on the meeting.
Yeah. But fortunately, I think it only went to our friend.
Yeah, it was
she
like
was able to just like delete it.
Yeah,
from the
like to intercept it. But
sometimes it goes to like everybody who is in the meeting.
Yeah, depending on how you have it set. That shit can happen.
Amazing.
Shit could happen to anyone.
Yeah, it really can.
Your AI girlfriend is transcribing your arguments and sending it to all your friends.
Who would guess that when you're on the work conference call on Zoom that you're being surveilled?
Well, that's actually
for real.
something good to keep in mind.
God. They aren't surveilling our work calls, otherwise I've been fired about fucking 30 times by now.
Yeah, I mean, they don't got energy for all that.
Yeah.
That's something to keep in mind with the surveillance.
That's because your guardian AI companion's looking out for you.
Mm-hmm.
No, I need an AI companion to help protect me from my AI companion.
You need a guardian angel drone to protect you from your AI companion.
Exactly.
What about a Far Away So Close, but it's just about AI companions? I actually couldn't remember the name of the other movie. The
Wings of Desire.
Yeah, Wings of Desire. Yeah. For some reason, I could only think of Far Away So Close. But yeah, I like the idea of a Wings of Desire where like all the AI companions are looking at people in the library and like helping them cheat on their, intro to psych 5-paragraph essays or whatever you have to do.
The resumes for them.
Yeah. Shall we start the show?
Let's do it.
Welcome back to Boys Bible Study, the only podcast where I'm sorry I can't do that. It violates the terms of service. I'm sorry I can't do that. It violates the terms of service. I'm sorry I can't do that. It violates the terms of service. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me put another token in there. Welcome back to Boys Bible Study. We are back. And we're continuing a run that started last week of covering the brand new AI generated work by one of our favorite directors, Kenya Cagle. So yeah, you're in for quite a treat today. But as always, I'm Ash here with my co-hosts
Scott
and Julian.
Yeah, so I actually wasn't on last week's episode. My mom was in town, so I was hanging with her instead of recording the pod. But I did listen to it, And
your AI mom.
Yeah, well, I had my AI listen to the podcast while I was entertaining my AI mom. But I guess I bring this up to say that, like, I don't know if I could have done 2 of these in a row. Like, you guys seemed pretty excited to watch Man of the Night.
It certainly helped that our man Kent was very short.
Okay.
And episode 2 came out in the interim between this episode and the last one.
All right.
So join our Patreon if you want to. I mean, I don't know if we'll cover it, but
yeah,
we did say that we wanted to see episode 2.
That's right.
And it was that a bonus only episode?
Yeah, the Our Man Kent episode was for the Patreon last week. So.
I've been noticing for a while now a lot of anti-AI graffiti.
Graffiti?
Really?
LA.
Interesting.
It's in like more affluent neighborhoods, not like Beverly Hills or whatever, Westlake Village or whatever, but like on the west side or in like, you know, Echo Park or whatever, like gentrified places.
Yeah, that's real gentrifier graffiti.
It really is, and it's so funny because all I can think about is like the graffiti in like Avengers movies where it's like "Long live Spider-Man" or whatever, and it's like, like who are you trying? Like, what are you trying to? Maybe I'm just not as passionate about my dislike for AI. I just think it's kind of stupid, but I do think there's some stuff that it's useful for. But
somebody should program a robot to do graffiti.
Yeah. But I'm just like, this has got to be fucking Wordsmith or something going around. Remember Wordsmith?
Oh God, do I remember Wordsmith?
Yeah. That's all I can think about is Wordsmith is now, he's out of the job because of AI stuff.
Yep. And he's getting his revenge on the city. Yeah, I think this is a very unhelpful take, but I feel like, unfortunately, AI hate has gotten to the point where it's like, I'm not saying the people who are vocal about it are without their reasons, far from it, but it's gotten cringe. I don't know what to tell you. It's cringe.
It's like when you see the like writer strike and it's like, you know, I mean, I have so many personal reasons to support them, but like their signs make me want them to be like crushed,
replaced by AI.
Like by fucking what are those guys that used to like beat up striking what is that called, like union busters or whatever?
Yeah, you want a union buster?
I want to volunteer to be a union buster when I read their fucking signs. Which, by the way, the most recent round of like strikes was all about AI stuff, and their fucking signs were like 1,000,000 times worse than anything AI would have come up with. And they were all about like how AI can't replace us.
It's like, man, I really don't.
It's like,
know
just don't do signs. Just please don't do signs. First off, you should be getting paid for this by your own logic.
Yeah, right. You shouldn't have signs.
All you're doing is giving away for free the stuff that you claim you should be paid for and proving that you should not be paid for this.
Yes.
Scabs for yourselves.
Yes.
Insane.
Yeah, don't be a scab for yourself. Yeah, it's...
You should just have a bunch of blank signs.
Yeah, my problem with AI is not the creative uses. Like, if you think you can do something good with AI, go for it. Try. You probably can't. But most of it's really bad. However, some of it's pretty good. My main problem would be the whole data center making my power go up and like taking clean water away from people's drinking sources.
Yes, the idea that like everybody in the United States may have to pay more for power because like of this thing.
Kenya Cagle's new movie is coming out. I think we would all, we'd all be willing to make some sex. Like it'd be like those Trump. Like I saw an NBC News thing where they were like interviewing Trump voters about like the war in Iran making gas prices go up, and like most of them were like, I no comment or I don't support this. And then like a couple people were like, well, you know, if that's the price I got to pay to stay free and safe, then I got to do it. That's me paying my $400 a month water bill for the new Kenya Cagle movie.
Just imagine you're subscribed to.
Yeah.
Imagine you're subscribed
Ridiculous.
to Kenya Cagle's Patreon at the $400 tier. That's sort of what it feels like.
But this is the good thing, because if for some reason Duke Energy was like, hey, for a few dollars more each month, I'll give you another Kenya Cagle movie, I would be like, that's weird that you're the distributor, but I guess so.
Yeah, I agree. I think Kenya Cagle should be the poet laureate of like Shell Oil.
Yeah.
Or something. Like there should be some sort of like, that would be a really interesting way to fuse business and culture. To quick go back to the point about about believing in anything being cringe nowadays. I wish I didn't feel that way, but the problem is that I just think everyone has such a horrible sense of aesthetics nowadays. I don't actually think that trying or believing things is cringe. I actually think I'm a very sincere person. But I just think that everybody has such horrible aesthetic instincts nowadays, like uniformly. And honestly, that might have something to do with the proliferation of AI. I do think that you can do creative things with AI, but I also think that it's like skimming for plankton, for algae on the surface of culture. It's like what it reveals in everyone is like the dregs of aesthetics. I don't know. It's I do actually kind of believe it will be our downfall, but I also think it's good that Kenya Cagle can use it to make a movie for free.
It's just we've lost so much like naive art.
Yeah.
Because of AI. And it's in a way it's revealed a different form of like human thinking. I don't know. Like the beauty of naive or folk art is like it operates outside of any sort of rules or whatever.
Right.
And
and it still has to be your hands making the art too.
And it's people who like maybe aren't like skilled traditionally in making art, but like are so compelled to create something new that they just have to do it by any means necessary. And AI and like in the ubiquitousness of like technology has made it so that maybe some of those people are just doing AI art instead and like actually get to see the clean image of something that they otherwise would have been forced to produce like very roughly. And
it takes away a very human element.
Yeah.
I totally agree. And I actually think not exactly that we planned it like this, but I kind of think that's why we were interested in doing an arc of talking about Kenya Cagle's AI films, because I do think as people who study like folk media, which is a new term I literally just invented right now to hopefully replace like so bad it's good. I'm going to call it folk media from now on. Yeah. But I think this might be the new wave of folk media. A lot of people like Kenya Cagle or like the other people that we cover are going to realize that they can make a 3D rendered vampire attack for cheap in, whatever software he uses to do this.
Yeah, I guess the folk aspect of it right now is I sort of see it in the stuff that he's willing to accept, with the stuff that he is willing to deem acceptable to put into his movie. Like to see some of the AI generated clips in this movie and for him to say like, that's perfect. I'm putting it in this film. Because this was like 10 times as rough as Our Man Kent. Okay. This made Our Man Kent look like an actual like movie with real people in it.
This movie was
I almost texted that to y'all, but I didn't want to spoil it. I was gonna say that Our Man Kent really came a long way from Man of the Night, which is the name of the movie we covered.
Yes.
9 months apart.
It makes me think that he has been working on some of these for longer than others. Because this looked really, really like AI stuff from a few years ago.
Yeah. It was uncanny valley at multiple points.
Very much so. Yeah, there were a couple scenes that were like genuinely upsetting.
Yeah.
In which, you know, maybe was effective because some of the scenes were supposed to be like horror scenes, but there was one scene where I was like, this is straight up upsetting.
Yeah. There's also a lot of clearly like screen recording of the like sample footage or whatever. Like some stuff had like watermarks in the corner.
Yes.
Or like little like I don't know how to describe it, but like there was like stuff from the display like you would see in a browser.
Yes.
Like overlapping the video a little bit.
Yeah, that made sense. I clocked that, but I actually didn't realize that's what it was, but it totally was.
Yeah.
It was like screen recordings of that were spliced into the film.
Also, but I don't know about either of you, but I gave this its 38th view.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think I was either like 37 or 39. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't actually look, but it was definitely in the 30s when I clicked play. So, hey, maybe after we review this, that number will go up to 45.
Mm-hmm.
It'll get the Boys Bible Study bump.
I hope so. It was pretty entertaining once again.
It was. The first half was stronger than the second, or maybe I just totally lost patience. The final scene was pretty good.
I started watching this last night, and I was like, I gotta be like over halfway through. I was 10 minutes into the movie. And I was just like, I gotta finish this tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, to formally introduce the film, Scott already said the title, but yes, this is called Man of the Night. It is by Kenya Cagle, who, you know, if you haven't listened to many episodes of our show, I'll just briefly introduce that Kenya Cagle is a faith-based film director. I believe he's based in New York City, and he has been making live-action films for the better part of 20 years. I actually think a little more than that at this point. We've reviewed several of his films on the show, his live-action films, that is. Probably our favorite one that he did is called The Boy Who Saw Christ. But we've also reviewed the films My King, Sin Apple, and what was the one from the 2000s? Father Dad.
Yeah.
And I mean, Mr. Cagle, I'm sorry, Reverend Cagle, MD?
Mm-hmm. MBA.
Yeah. Reverend Kenya Cagle, MBA, is a great filmmaker and has a very unique tone and has a way of approaching stories about race, gender, class in just a very unique way. I feel like in all of his films, his ideas about how people interact really come through very strongly. And despite being completely AI generated, Man of the Night is no different.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just start off by saying that one thing I gotta really give Reverend Cagle credit for is the fact that his AI films are distinctly his voice, despite being AI.
Yeah.
I think he's a writer first and foremost. Like he's skilled in a number of ways, but I think that's just his sheer ability to come up with entertaining ideas is what he's best at, and this shows it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really, I mean, we said this about our man Kent, but it really did feel like he did not use ChatGPT or anything to like develop his script.
I agree.
No, I'm fully convinced he wrote this.
I agree. Yeah, he's clearly writing what compels him, but I also feel like the Reverend Cagle's work is kind of in line, whether he knows it or not, with a lot of contemporary short form entertainment. By that I mean like everything from Darman to the current trend of like racist AI generated fruit videos. I don't know if you guys were familiar with that craze that happened like 2 weeks ago.
I think I've seen some of those.
Yeah, it was in the vein of like Italian brain rot, but basically these fruit videos took off, and then other people, you know, like one person got successful doing it, and then there were many imitators. But it was like these crazy stories of like like an apple who gets like pregnant with a banana, and then like the other apple husband is like cucked and like mad at her, and they were like they were very like racialized and like very like, you know, like using like racist caricatures and stuff. And they had like a mini wave of notoriety. And now, to be clear, Kenya Cagle is a black man, but I do feel like he uses some pretty intentionally like polarizing racial dynamics in his work.
Yeah.
Either to make a statement. Sometimes it's to make a statement that's anti-racist, or sometimes I honestly think it's just like to titillate by like exploiting like racial dynamics and the way that people have strong feelings about race and relations, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, he's kind of just like the average person.
Mm-hmm.
For better or worse.
Right.
And yeah, a lot of his movies do seem to fall into like tokenism and stuff, despite also like a fairly progressive view of like, you know, being black in America.
Mm-hmm.
And like oftentimes a very frank view of like you said, race relations in America. Like he's not afraid to like, you know, tell stories about like racial conflict.
Yep.
In a way that is like very real for a lot of people. And then, you know, he'll throw in AI girlfriends and werewolves or vampires, whatever this guy was.
Yeah. Yeah, he was basically a vampire, right? I was just gonna say, and he's willing to explore other perspectives too, like to be a child, seeing Christ for the first time in the bathroom while you're washing your hands after peeing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, I totally agree. That said, Man of the Night, an AI generated feature film, it's about an hour and 10 minutes long, is another story of, you know, a young black man in New York City, but this time Mr. Cagle is using the AI medium to show some stuff he would not have been able to show in his other films, and he uses that to great effect to give a story about a young man who dies and is resurrected by his evil mother into a sort of hybrid werewolf vampire.
He was resurrected by his ex-girlfriend.
Oh my God. I probably have so many of like the relationship plot details wrong in my perception of this movie. Like I was having,
because she aged and he didn't, so that
right,
might turn you off.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because
the confusing thing is
because
right.
Yeah.
Because his sister is much older, and he sees, believes his daughter, and his daughter is slightly older than him.
Yeah. And his sister is older than his girlfriend.
Yes, but then
that was probably what threw you off.
But then who's the psychic?
The psychic was just a psychic.
But she was in the family.
No.
I could swear she was. I thought there was a line about
She's just a local psychic.
Yeah, I didn't get any of that.
I wrote a note down that says the psychic was one of the sisters. And it was because of some conversation between her and you're right. I remember now that like the evil woman is clearly his ex-girlfriend because she
set him up.
Yeah, and she was being evil in the beginning of the movie, and she continued to be evil, but she gained like 300 pounds, which is called out in the script as part of the curse.
That was so funny. I feel like that was like written after the fact that the like AI generated clips were just kept making her get bigger and bigger every time she was on camera.
Because that's the thing in my defense, or you know, any podcaster out there who tries to review an AI generated film, the thing about these films is that the characters look fucking different in every single scene.
Every scene. Every shot.
Yes.
Sometimes even without a shot change or anything.
Things just start to look different.
Kent, even though the story was more coherent, their faces were constantly changing.
Yes.
They would get older and younger, like in moments.
So the effect you have watching a full-length AI movie, I don't know. I mean, this was the first time I ever sat down and watched a feature-length AI movie.
Same.
And I feel like maybe I'm guessing most of our listeners haven't, because as film fans, that's not usually what a lot of us are like primarily interested in. The experience is straight up like being in a dream. Like, you're looking at a place and it looks familiar. You're trying to use your human sense of space perception and memory to remember like what you're looking at, where you are, who people are, and you're never really able to anchor in that. And I find that experience very unsettling.
Yeah, and it's really hard for like just to know like who is an important character and who's not, because like how are you supposed to determine like what your mind can't remember connections if like a person is constantly changing how they look and sound.
Yes. The sister who became the police commissioner was the worst offender of this.
Yeah.
She looked completely fucking different in every scene.
Every scene, including the one scene that for some reason looked like an episode of Dragnet. Like, do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yes.
She was a completely different person in that scene, and her like not her nemesis, her like rival, her anime rival was like dressed in like a fedora and trench coat for just that scene, and it like looked like a show from the 60s or whatever. Nowhere else in this movie did it look like that. Yeah, I kind of got the impression that he was using several different AI generators and like would just run out of uses on one of them and then switch to another one and then maybe put it all together in like Premiere or something. Not Premiere. iMovie, whatever the free equivalent is.
Yeah, I do want to point out. I turned Canadian there for a second. I do want to point out though that in the end credits of the movie, he shows that a lot of the recurring characters in the film, the models of which were actually based on his family and friends.
Yeah,
and there is, and I didn't watch Our Man Kent, but I think. I imagine like there's a degree of consistency between the characters. Like they still keep moving from scene to scene, but like there's attempts made to keep character continuity. And I guess some of the way he achieved that was by basing characters off of like photographs of people he knew.
Yeah, I think Our Man Kent, it really only seemed like the main character was based on him. I don't know if anybody else. I don't remember if they had like a models credits at the end of that.
Gotcha. Yeah,
but yeah, I was surprised to see that. Like, this is just like a movie, which is funny because like he's AI generating a movie. That's very sweet. He's AI generating a movie. He could have put like Chris Pratt in this movie,
yeah,
or like Denzel Washington.
It's
or
true.
Like anybody he wanted, and
well,
he could be
probably
opposite.
not with the free programs that he's using.
Yeah,
Might
I mean, he could
actually
be
might not
acting
be able
opposite
to.
like Hollywood A-listers.
It's true.
And
It's
instead
true.
he chooses to use his like friends and family, which was very cool.
Yeah, that's a cool folk media twist. Another thing about the character models in Man of the Night is that at the end of the film, there's a credit that Kenya has dedicated this film to his sister, his deceased sister, Kenya Cagle.
Whoa, I missed that.
I saw that, but what I'm actually not remembering right now is, did I also see her name as one of the character models?
Could be.
I feel like I want to say that the sister character in this film who becomes the police commissioner is based on her, but I don't know that for a fact.
That might be why the sister was so much older than the girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like that would kind of make sense.
Like he used, her model from like later in her life
mm-hmm.
to
Yeah, to be her as like a grown
character versus like, she was like 10 to 12 years younger than him when he dies in the movie as a kid or a high schooler or whatever. Yeah, so what is this what is this movie about?
Oh, Jesus.
I guess it's a top college basketball prospect is gunned down in the street. And 30 years later, he is resurrected by his girlfriend, his former girlfriend from high school, who it turns out she is the one who set up the hit on him.
Mm-hmm.
And she is bringing him back from the dead to kill her husband, who is the man who killed Damien.
Yeah.
When they were in high school, who she finds out has been seduced by their daughter. Like the way that her character sort of was processing the fact that her husband was R-wording their daughter made it sound like maybe we should say R-ing instead of R-wording.
Yeah, I don't even
he was the way he was, sexually assaulting their daughter.
We say graping on TikTok.
They were graping. Yeah, he was graping their daughter. She seemed to frame it as, and I wonder if this is, I don't know. Some of this stuff I'm like, am I getting an insight into Kenya Cagle's like understanding of the world, or is he really trying to make this character out to be like a bad person, or what's going on? But anyways, she resurrects her assassinated ex-boyfriend to kill through the help of a sort of, sorceress, psychic type. She resurrects her assassinated ex-boyfriend to kill her current husband.
So you slept with my daughter, right. And I'm going to kill you. I promise you, I will kill you. You better get away from me.
Who will want someone like you?
So your husband is sleeping with your oldest daughter, and you want him killed. Why not just hire a hitman or do it yourself? This is going to cost you big time.
Yeah, and what you were saying, that goes into what I was saying before about how, like, I think that Kenya really likes to titillate. Like, I think that his choices in character relationships, sometimes they're for an instructive value, and sometimes it's really just because, like, isn't this story crazy? Like, the guy's like fucking his daughter and like blah blah blah. It's like it's almost like, it's like Jerry Springer or something. It's like a little
he just gets caught up in the story above all else, which is great.
Yes, he's always trying to shock you or surprise you. It's never really about exploring a single idea. It's about how many different ideas can we put on top of it ourselves, which is a very like childlike understanding of storytelling, which is probably why these movies are so captivating, because you literally have no idea what's going to happen next.
So that's for sure.
And he still somehow manages to keep it like, this is like we were saying, you can still tell it was written by him because it doesn't make enough sense to come from an AI prompt.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But I feel like a lot of times with bad AI prompts, you can sort of see where they got the info from.
It's like too clever, or it's like too like generic. But his are just, they also never explain why he was assassinated.
No.
I
mean, maybe as a money-making scheme. Actually, in the beginning of the film, which was one of my favorite parts of the whole film, probably because I was still delighted by the medium instead of like feeling like my skin was crawling watching it. In the beginning of the film, he's a basketball star. What's this guy's name? The main character?
Damien something?
Damien, yes, of course. Damien is a basketball star. I love he's like playing a game and an AI voice his girlfriend goes, woohoo, 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 watching him play. His jersey has like fake scrambled letters on it. But it's because of his stardom that he gets a scholarship to which his girlfriend says to him, 1991 is the greatest year ever. We're going to have the best life ever.
This year, 1991, is the greatest year ever. I'm going to be with you for the rest of your life. We're going to have the best life ever. You were the #1 draft pick. You got $1 million scholarship to Duke University, the highest scholarship in history, and the Harlem Globetrotters invited you to try out. We're going to be rich.
There's so many lines like that. I really wish I'd written them all down.
I tried, and then there were so many that it became
take
impossible.
Notes during this because it was so hard to just keep focused on the screen.
I actually think that was I missed certain details because I was trying to take notes like counterintuitively.
I ended up pausing a lot, rewinding multiple times.
Yes.
Oh my God, you're doing the Lord's work. Because I can't imagine rewinding during this movie. I did rewind during one part, which we'll get to because it's towards the end. But yeah, so yeah,
he gets gunned down, and then who is it? Who early on,
like
right
a
after
mobster.
after he's gunned down, somebody says, I think it's his sister actually says, I'm a believer. I know I will see him again. That's like the first Christian talk in the movie.
So, 30 years later.
Wait, actually, just really quick, I want to add another great line after he gets shot is his girlfriend is talking to his mom on the phone, and she says about him being shot to the mom, that's life in the big city. You get that paper?
Oh, well, that's life in the big city. You get that paper?
That one really got me. I love that his girlfriend just like, her boyfriend gets shot and her reaction is just, that's life in the city. I mean, we find out later she was a part of the conspiracy.
Yes, it didn't. Yeah. But we never know why. We don't know why.
There's no motive.
It's also unclear to the very end of the movie. It's unclear whether his girlfriend was the one who set up the hit or she was supposed to get paid by these guys for telling them where he was going to be. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, she's really just like an evil woman.
Yes.
That's just sort of like she just her character just seems to love doing evil.
I think that is the part that is kind of insightful into Kenya's worldview is like there's just a woman who exists to do bad things and she's getting like bigger and fatter and more evil as the movie goes on.
Yes.
Yeah, really.
I don't know what part of his life that revolves around, but yes. 30 years pass and his sister is now the police commissioner in New York City.
Who I verified it is the likeness of his actual sister.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So she is the she is the police commissioner of the greatest police force in the world, according to the movie, the New York City Police Department. And his girlfriend is just an evil lady. And there's now some sort of psychic black magic practitioner who is involved in this circle for some reason. There's a therapist who doesn't seem to enjoy doing her job, who treats Damien's sister. And then there is a detective butthole who is a thorn in the side of Damien's sister.
Yes.
So there's a string of brutal murders around the city, and witnesses are saying that they're brutal murders that are occurring near places that are significant to Damien's sister.
Yeah, the police commissioner.
And this one detective is trying to get her to investigate it, and she refuses to investigate it.
which makes no sense.
Yeah.
She's commissioner.
There is a point later in the movie where people want her to be fired, and the mayor is like, I have your back. And she says, I don't care if you fire me. I hate this job.
That's right.
Somehow has become the police commissioner with that attitude.
Yes. It's like she became the police commissioner because she's passionate because great injustice was done, to her brother. But yeah, also she hates doing it. And also, when that guy who, as Julian already said, is supposed to be an asshole, is like just asking her questions like, don't you think it's significant that the killer was like at your house, like shouting your name and like blah, blah. And she says to him, and this is a line I wrote down. She says to him, you've always had a talent for dragging mud into clean rooms. You're not a whole ass. You're an asshole.
Yes.
Ethered queen.
You know what, Clark? You've always had a gift for dragging mud into clean rooms. You're not even a whole ass. You're just an asshole.
She's always calling him asshole and butthole.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, later on, when she's like in a deep psychosis, she refers to him as like butthole.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And he's like his face lights up and he's like, I knew you were still there.
Yeah. He's like, you recognize me.
All right.
This movie also had a lot of like weird compositions of different AI images where the characters weren't looking at were in the same shot talking to each other, but both facing the camera.
Ugh, that was hard to watch.
Very, very confusing.
And they were like, this movie made me really appreciate like watching so many scenes where two characters are lit completely differently in animation. They're existing in completely separate spaces. Their faces change from frame to frame. They're both looking directly at you, the viewer, while delivering their information. I was just like, God, even the worst live action movie of all time that I've seen, I don't think has filled me with such dread. just to and even stuff where I look back and I'm like, I need to just like, I can't even look at the screen right now. I hate this so much. I'm like, at least that was like when there were two people in a scene, they were in the same room with each other.
It's crazy because he's made movies before.
Yes.
And he has some degree of competency when it comes to making a movie. We've seen his movies before.
We like his movies.
He understands a little bit about the film, at the very least, a little bit about the filmmaking process.
I would say so.
Yet this is what's so fascinating to me. He finds this like acceptable.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like the thing where, I feel like AI is like this for a lot of people where it's just so like nifty.
Yeah.
That it kind of gives you aesthetic blindness because you're just like, wow, isn't that so neat? Like I just told it to make a vampire attack and it did it. But it's like, okay, but like you're also a filmmaker and like these characters are two completely different sizes.
Yeah.
One is like standing in front of the other, but is like much smaller. That it just is like, why don't you
people just not
another
expect
take?
It to make something specific and they just hope that it clears their lowest expectations?
I really think it just kind of depends on how hard you have to work on it because there is a filmmaker on Twitter, an animator who has shuffled into doing like AI stuff, and I honestly don't know if I want to promo her on the show because she is like a very far right wing. Like her politics are very far right, but she made this very competent. It's really a really funny show. She was saying that you have to try a ton of times.
Yeah,
and that if she's just really patient and tries the same prompt and take many, many times, she will eventually get something that's like really passable with continuity and like what has to happen. And if you watch her show, it looks really seamless. Like she was like when she was a teen, she was a pretty famous animator online. And like now she's about our age, and now she's doing the show, which is actually like pretty popular.
That's who you're talking about.
No, I'm not. I don't think she has a show. But I'm just saying that, like, if you have enough patience, you can do it.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to look this bad.
And it's funny because it's like, that's still like 0% effort. You're just doing it over. You're telling a computer to do all the work for you over and over.
In a way,
again.
yeah.
Not, there's no, it's patience is the, it's not even like patience in the way like you're building a like model ship or something in a bottle. It's patience in the sense that you just have to wait for a thing, like you're basically watching your microwave and your food's not warm enough and you're just putting it back in there and hitting add 30 more seconds.
Yes.
There's not really
you
like
know the food will be done at some point.
There's no real barrier to you getting this right other than just being like, I'm just gonna spend more possibly money on tokens or like time.
Yeah.
It's like not really, there's no reason why anybody else can't do this. Nor does it feel like a big insightful thing to say. Like, I just have to keep hitting reprompt over and over again until I get it right.
Yeah, it's interesting. It does take a kind of, I mean, she expressed that like sometimes the editing process will take like hours even for just a short amount of material.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I do think it's about like a kind of, it's like patience,
Is she
repetition.
like telling the story to make it sound like this is actually like work that somebody's doing?
I mean, her show is like really good. Like it clearly took a lot of effort.
But it's like AI generated. Like the same stuff just applies to actually making a thing. It's just massively easier.
Right. No, but yeah, I'm just trying to say that like I agree with you, but it's just like the challenges are different and they're not zero because
they're pretty close to zero.
It's like it's funny. It's
you don't have to give. I mean, you're an actual artist. You actually make real music.
Well, sure,
and
but I'm just saying.
Can you imagine if an AI musician was like, yeah, and then I had to like put the song back in the thing again to make it like, and it's not easy. And sometimes I have to line up the like, I get the stems from the AI generator and I have to like adjust them or like mix them properly, and that's like, No,
I get what you're saying, but it's just like it requires. Like you have to have some sort of aesthetic finesse to like be aware of continuity, and you have to like be willing to do a bunch of patience and repetition. And stuff.
You have to not be like a brain dead moron.
Well, yes,
that's a pretty low barrier.
Yeah, true.
Do it with intent.
If we're comparing her stuff to Kenya Cagle, then I think there was a lot more effort put into something where
like she's basically saying to make something, you have to make something with intent. It's like,
fuck this lady.
Yep.
Well,
that's making stuff. That's making stuff for you.
I guess all I'm trying to say is her stuff is so much better in this movie that she's obviously doing something with more effort, but I don't know. I don't know how many hours she or Kenya logged on these.
Well,
films.
that is the thing that is curious to me because in my mind, it is still basically zero real effort.
Yeah.
To get this. All it takes is for you to recognize that something is not right.
Yeah.
And I'm curious if there is some other reason other than Kenya Cagle just being like, this looks right. That's something that is clearly completely fucked up.
That's very possible.
Whereas like it sounds like this person is just able to recognize, hey, these two characters are talking to each other, but they're both looking directly at the camera and the lighting is wrong. So I should probably press the button and maybe type, make the lighting consistent.
Yes. That's exactly it.
But I do think like to your point, I think there are, because you see like executives or whatever giving like talks or whatever about this stuff and showing like even like commercials for like Coca-Cola and stuff, like the visuals don't look consistent even on that shit. And it's like, there definitely are a lot of people who do not approach this with like an actual artistic eye. Mm-hmm. And so like, you still have to have that to make this work.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I would ever... my gripe with AI is I don't think I would ever consider it something that takes work or effort.
Mm-hmm.
But what does take
and there's nothing wrong with that.
Is,
just don't say that it takes.
Yeah, don't steal valor about it being.
Don't say it was actually
laborious.
like difficult or something to do or like tricky to pull off.
Right.
I mean, what's important here is I'm sure whatever her show is like, it doesn't have nearly as amazing of dialogue as Kenya Cagle's. Which is always what's going to come through because he's still writing this.
Yeah, he's opting to do that. He's passionate about it, and it really gives him the tone.
Like how much insight? Like it's both funny and sad, and telling about like his own mind. Like as soon as Damien gets brought back from the dead, he says, "Why did you bring me back?" And his girlfriend says, "Just like a man, so ungrateful."
Yes.
Amazing.
Why would you bring me back? I don't belong here.
Just like a man. You're so ungrateful.
That was the line. That was one of the lines I was trying to remember.
So good.
Yeah.
You know, on that note, it's funny because it's like I don't think Kenya Cagle is overall misogynistic in tone. I mean, even if you just look at many of his characters, a lot of them are about these like really cool female characters who are like very strong and varied and like three-dimensional and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, he tends to get stuck on this just archetype of like the evil woman and the idea that like, a man gets caught in this like situation that's out of his control, and like, what does the evil woman character say to him is just like, oh, so ungrateful for like everything I've done for you. Is it in My King where like the mother of one of the characters is just like an evil woman?
Yes.
Like, she's just like, she's like the boss at the company, and she's just like, I know it will be fun. I'll torture my daughter-in-law. And that's just like,
yeah, I get the idea with Kenya Cagle that because he does seem like a community-oriented guy and at least somewhat family-oriented. And I imagine he has plenty of healthy relationships with women in his life, but has had a couple specific scenarios with ex-girlfriends or wives.
Yeah. That very well may be. Because it's such a strong motif. It's like hard to ignore in his films. But what was some other just like funny moments or relationship stuff?
Well, the like fact that I keep bringing this up, but the fact that she gains like 400 pounds over the course of the movie is very funny, and then it's explicitly stated that is a side effect of the curse.
Yes,
that I guess a curse is put on Damien that he is brought back from the dead as like a vampire werewolf kind of creature, but then every time that he is like commanded to do something, his ex-girlfriend gains weight. So by the end of the movie, she is like a gigantic like mound of mass.
It's kind of like your re-edit of Thinner.
Yeah.
where it's like it's the thicker re-edit. There's a curse. There's also similar in this, a curse involved and a woman getting slowly bigger and bigger during the entire film. About her weight, at one point she says to the psychic, my doctor says I'm having hormone problems. This my hormones.
Oh, what was the name of the like guy who killed him? Reaper?
I believe it was Reaper.
Yes, Reaper.
But so, he's the one who's called Black the Ripper when he's killing people, when she's having him killed.
He is Black the Ripper, but he was killed by a white Reaper. Man named Reaper.
Yeah, and he gets his name Black the Ripper when
killed Ripper.
He is commanded to kill the witness of his like first murder.
Yeah.
Which was at like Coney Island, or his second murder was at Coney Island. It was such a funny, like the AI generated clips of basically Kenya Cagle going on amusement park rides.
So funny.
Was so funny.
Yeah, that was bizarre looking.
Like why did he get to go on the amusement park rides? He's like her slave who's only there to murder people. But there's a montage of him riding a bunch of roller coasters and like
I don't know. I'm sure you've played
having a
Sims
blast
before. I'm sure you've played Sims before. You put them in different scenarios.
Yeah, I feel like maybe
that
was
at some
another...
point you put them in the pool and take the ladders out.
Yep.
Yeah, I just feel like that's another like AI thing where it's. I mean, you're just like you're having fun just making yourself go on the roller coaster. So you put it in the movie, whether or not it like makes any sense.
So he tracks down another guy who was associated with Reaper at the Coney Island, and I did find something really like hypnotically artistic about the chase through the like Hall of Mirrors, where it's just kind of the same shot over and over again, but like slight variations on it. There's something really, really weird about the AI acting in that. Like it was such a like real looking person with like an expression that you would like not be able to get from like an actor. It was very, very uncanny, but in a way it was like, to me, it looked like somebody who actually was like scared and freaking out. I don't know. It was really strange.
It makes me shudder to think about it, honestly.
It's cool because it's so uncanny it makes your skin crawl, but it also like fits for the scene, which was like a man being hunted down in a hall of mirrors.
Yeah, those are moments where the medium seems to like serve the artistic intent of the piece. Another, I mean, probably to me the most visually upsetting scene was the scene where he's going through like a crowd of homeless people or something, and he's like just done his first werewolf transformation or something, and like I don't know, all the like homeless people on the ground look like all gnarled and diseased, and like he has like a warped werewolf face, and there's like the torn up body of his victim and stuff. I was like, this is really disturbing.
Yeah.
Like that
what kind of thing is he using to generate these images?
I don't know.
This is what he sees when he closes his eyes to go to bed at night.
That's just like what's so crazy. Like that's almost the shit where it's like, despite being kind of agnostic about AI, I almost feel like I would rather, like, for instance, if a kid were to watch a horror movie, I feel like I would rather a kid watch a really gory horror movie made with practical effects than a really gory horror movie made with AI, because like it's just like I can't even really explain this. It's like an ethical thing, but the fact that like the AI, the fact that like the gore is like fake and it's made out of like hallucinations of ripped up body parts or something is like makes it so much more disturbing for me.
Yeah.
Than an imitation that's maybe more realistic.
It's also like knowing that it's like fake is like in a different way. I don't know.
I know.
I just felt so bizarre watching this for like an hour and 15 minutes and then watching like a real, like then seeing real people.
Yes.
Like I turned on the TV afterwards and it was like, you know, a sports show or whatever. And I was like, my brain feels like I'm expecting these people to like morph at any moment.
I know.
Really, like, really bizarre.
And people are watching AI stuff like all day.
Yeah.
Like
wild.
People, like, again, I don't even feel like it's wrong necessarily. I just like it just surprises me that more people aren't just simply disturbed by seeing AI visuals.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh yeah, it's just like AI. And then they watch that for a while, and then they, like the guy on the bus who just showed me a video of an AI car crash.
Yeah.
just like pleasantly like offered it to me to watch when he sat down next to me. I was just like, that guy, like, what?
It's so
like
bizarre.
That guy's just walking around watching AI car crashes.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. And then people like you just see it like fucking brain dead normies now just all the time say everything is AI.
Yeah.
It's like I was watching Old Ball. Do you know him? Obi.
Sure.
It's like a talking ball. It's like a talking basketball.
I don't think I'm familiar.
It looks really funny. It's like an animatronic thing, and they like take him out in public and like have him talk to real people.
Cool.
And he looks really freaky.
Wait, was that the one that was on camera at like the basketball game? Okay, that's what that was.
Yeah.
I really loved those images, but I didn't know that was what it was.
It was so much funnier not having the context for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a clip of him talking to some guys in like a diner or whatever, and like they were just like, "You're AI, bro. You're AI." And he was like, "What are you talking about?"
Like you're saying
they're like, "Yeah, well, you're related to Grok, right?" And like, it's just like, what does that even mean, dude? Like, you're in the fucking meat space.
You're saying that people in physical space with this animatronic were saying like you're AI?
The people responding to the animatronic were calling the animatronic AI.
Wow.
As if like it was an insult, but also like they seem to have this. I don't really want to put too much thought into it because it scares me, but like, are they saying that because they think that, like, number one, if it's just an insult, it's fucking stupid.
It's stupid.
And those are the same guys who are fucking spray painting the anti-AI stuff.
Yeah, right.
No, it doesn't make any fucking sense. And then the other thought process is that like this person's understanding of AI is that it can manifest into like physical beings in our world.
Man.
Or like putting any sort of unique creative vision behind anything, no matter how stupid it is like now a quote unquote AI.
Like it's AI because it like came from idea.
I guess so. It was really, really confusing.
That is wild.
And I was like, wouldn't you be delighted to see like a talking basketball?
Maybe they meant animatronic intelligence.
Yeah.
Yeah, possibly.
I would be so happy to see a talking basketball, and then and these guys were just like, "Get out of here! You're AI.
You're AI, bro."
Yeah.
Like what?
No talking basketball, no shirt, no shoes, no service.
Yeah. These guys were giving Gooner energy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's like everything the even just the concept of real and fake at its most basic level is being broken down in front of us, and for most people they're just like, oh, that's AI. Like that they don't seem to care about that.
Yeah.
And like I'm like obviously overthinking it, but having like daily like existential crises about stuff. So I don't know. It's a really bewildering experience. Like I do kind of think that like almost like I think you should, as an enjoyer of media, like watch this film or like watch a full AI movie, because like it will put you in a different headspace, you know? Yeah. Like it is pretty psychological. I don't know.
Heads up though, it does get very gory. Like,
yes,
for
it
real.
does. It does. Somewhat gory, but also just like dark and intense. I think we should talk about.
It doesn't go on for super long, but it was surprising.
Yes, and disturbing every time it happened. But I think we should talk about the like the final confrontation scene, because that scene was very long and involved, and it also like clinches up, you know, the plot of the film.
Is this where it turned into just like a straight up like horror movie, or the scene on the bridge?
I'm thinking of more of the bridge scene.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the big bridge scene at the end, because it was crucial to the plot of the movie and also hilarious for so many reasons. Oh, actually, just in my notes, right before the bridge scene, there was, I don't even remember why this came up, but at one point a cop says about, I don't even remember who they're talking about. He says he has an AI device on to make him run fast.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that
That's
about?
the same thinking, the same logic as the old ball.
Oh, he's got AI.
Yeah,
he's
right.
really fast.
Yep.
Oh my God, he's running faster than 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. No man can run like that. Even not even helicopters can stay with him. Well, I want some of what he's been smoking.
Madam Commissioner, we should apprehend Black the Ripper in a few hours. He ran into an alley in Harlem, and we have it surrounded. There's no way out. Our guys shot him a few times, but it didn't have any effect. We believe he has on a bulletproof vest and possibly one of those new AI devices to make you run at incredible speeds.
Like, what? AI is just an enhancement to anything?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ever?
Just any kind of electronic or like simple machine.
Yes.
Like a
It's
lever,
really
a
funny.
pulley.
It's AI.
Our guy has AI psychosis so bad.
I'm afraid that Kenya Cagle may be suffering from AI psychosis.
It's funny because like 95%, maybe even higher percentage of products that are like AI forward or whatever are completely useless or just do shit that like you already do. Like you could already find out so simply.
Yes, or they're just a skin of like ChatGPT, just like called something else, just like total repackaging. There was I saw a news story today that there was a new LLM that was building itself as like we're the eco-friendly LLM, like our datas or whatever. Like it uses less water, it uses less energy or whatever.
LLM.
Oh, a language learning model. It's like a ChatGPT. It's the generic term for ChatGPT, but like they were like, oh yeah, we're an eco-friendly LLM. It turns out their product was just straight up ChatGPT, but in a different browser.
So insane.
Like it was just a total lie, like a bald-faced lie that was like aimed at, it was eco-friendly.
Some juicero shit.
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, there's a confrontation on the bridge. This has happened after the police commissioner has gone like insane or senile from the trauma of
seeing her brother get resurrected and then shot to death by the police.
Yes.
Two guys in a helicopter with handguns that just unload on him on the bridge.
That's right. That comes out. That's what causes her to get senile.
And she starts shooting her gun blindly into the sky.
Yes. They finally reunite. The brother and sister on the bridge, and there is a tragic shooting where they're reaching their arms out for each other as friends, as family. And the nervous police in the helicopter go, he's pointing a gun at her. And shoot her down. Here's a real Kenya Cagle-ism, though. So he's obviously sort of riffing on the idea of like police shootings, which were a huge topic in the news over the past 5 years.
Yeah.
But note that like the officers in the helicopter were black.
Yeah.
Like it may not mean anything, but it also is just like, I just thought that was a weird choice. That's like
I thought that was interesting.
Trope,
I think like because he has other more like overt, like in Our Man Kent, it's like a white guy who's trying to erase black history,
right?
And like in this one, I think it was sort of just like him trying to show that like even black police officers are still can be.
He's saying
of police violence. Yeah, basically. I mean, even then, he's like, oh, the guy who shot your brother was also like under investigation for like a bunch of other stuff.
Right.
That scene was funny where the
detective
showed up and told her how he made the guy resign or whatever when she was in a straitjacket. When they're talking about her memories, the part that I rewound was the part where they're talking about her playing the incident over and over in her head, and she's like on the bridge and then just starts screaming and pulling her gun out and shooting it at the camera.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It's wild.
I liked when her AI voice, she's supposed to be like senile, but it's all an AI voice, so it's completely flat and monotone. And she just goes, bridge, daughter, bridge, daughter, bridge. And when she says
like
names,
Trump taking that Alzheimer's test or whatever.
Bridge. The bridge said bridge. The bridge said bridge.
And when she says names, she's like T, Tasha, D, Damien.
It's supposed to be stuttering or stammering.
Yeah,
it just repeats the same letter.
She's completely traumatized.
Right?
It's crazy PTSD.
Yeah, but she's still in there because she calls him Detective Butthole.
I just want you to know, I love you and hope you get well soon and come back to the office. We really miss you.
Asshole.
Thank God. You recognize me.
He ends up basically saving the day as far as I can tell. I feel like that guy, her rival, is like the most effective and normal character in the entire piece.
Yeah.
Because like she's ostensibly the moral hero because she's like the police commissioner. But I mean, yeah, earlier on, she's like, oh, yeah, I hate my job. Like, I don't know. She seems like she's just phoning it in, even though we like are supposed to think she's amazing. But he is really giving it his all. He like solves the crime, basically.
Goes into the house of gore.
Yes.
That was crazy.
That was a really disturbing scene.
It became a really scary movie at that part.
Yeah.
The way the like the psychic's like fucked up face was really scary.
Yeah,
to
with
me.
the nail sticking in it.
The nail sticking in it, and like she was like, "I'm gonna do dental surgery on you," and I don't know how. It was like so freaky.
Yes.
Good morning. How's my little bad patient today? I'm in such a good mood. Your smile has been bothering me for years. And guess what? Today, I'm going to be your dentist. Don't worry. I never trained to be one. But we're going to learn together. Then comes the makeover. Just a little trim. A few clumps from here, a few from there. And maybe, just maybe, I'll sprinkle a bit more acid on that face. You know, to give you that signature husband stealer look.
I'm in such pain.
Yeah, and there's those little like bloody dolls all over the house already.
Nasty stuff. Very nasty.
Very upsetting.
Very
And then
nasty.
the house gets set on fire somehow. I don't remember how.
Yeah.
But he like escapes with the girl. And then all these like zombies come out of the graves.
Yep. She joins the zombie task force.
Well, yeah, because the girlfriend is she wants to make a zombie apocalypse attacking the city of New York. That's one of her stated goals in the third act of the film.
Get me out of here. Hurry. She's crazy. She plans on creating a zombie apocalypse to attack the city of New York.
I love the idea of like, I want to create a zombie apocalypse.
That's
yeah. She also pronounces it zombie apocalypse, which I thought was really cute. I kind of want to start saying that.
apocalypse.
Apocalypse, yeah.
Apocalypse now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seems like she's gonna pull it off.
Yeah. But like, I mean, how does the movie end? Like, honestly, kind of can't remember.
Basically, with that, what happened after that? There's
kind of set it up for like a series.
Yeah. Yeah, our man Damien.
What was right after
Wait,
that?
do they?
Now I'm scrubbing.
Damien gets shot on the bridge, so he's dead.
No, they find his bones and dig him up, and I believe that they are. I think he's part of the task force.
Okay.
Because at the end, it ends with them showing like everybody who's a part of the team.
Right.
And they're like going to fight back against the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
So that, I guess, will be the sequel.
I guess so. I want to pitch. I think
right, because they say they've already walked through hell, and now they're bringing the fire back with them.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Well, this movie really went places. I would not have expected some sort of like superhero franchise set up at the very end of this movie with the way it started.
Seriously.
No.
Yeah, it was just like the sepia tone high school basketball and then being gunned down in cold blood. And then, at the end, it's the an
undead force fighting the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, the undead Avengers in zombie New York City.
Led by Kenya's actual dead sister, her likeness.
Yes. But, in a way, I mean, that is extremely unexpected. But in a way, I do feel like Kenya Cagle loves to have that like final escalation that really like takes the film to a new level. Because I'm thinking of like Father Dad, where the final act of the movie is like it's revealed that the ex has been videotaping their entire house, including the bathrooms.
Yeah.
And then he goes over there and then ends up attempting to rape the mom while the kids are watching on TV from the grandma's house, which is like a dastardly plot twist that like not only makes the film meta, but is also just like so conceptually intense and uncomfortable.
It's like Funny Games.
Yes. Yeah. It's like Funny Games for Christians, I guess. It's like Christian Funny Games. But yeah, I mean, this is like that, but with AI. So you can have like zombies and werewolves and like psychics with giant black widow spiders crawling around their house and like nails embedded in their face and stuff like that. So, you know, the mind is unbridled now. Kenya Cagle's mind is even more beautiful than ever before.
We should also note that Reaper becomes Damien's friend because
that's insane.
He sort of convinces Damien of how evil the ex-girlfriend is because it's also I don't know if he ever says he's not having sex with the daughter or he is, but it turns out that the daughter is between Damien and the evil girlfriend.
Right.
It's not actually Reaper's daughter, so he's sort of absolved of any sort of
that's right. It
wrongdoing.
wasn't incest because he actually was not the father.
Yeah, and she's also like extremely hot.
Yeah. She's like a
really
baddie.
funny. Like she dresses like a baddie, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is very funny. And I think the model for her in the credits was like somebody's Instagram handle. So I don't know if it's actually somebody he knew or if it was just somebody he found online.
I wonder if he just like took some baddie's
It was the only person who didn't have a real name.
Her,
I know. I don't know if that was with permission or not, but I did note that she was the only person who used like not a government name, I should say.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I wonder,
fantastic.
do you know if that if like the evil ex-girlfriend was based on anyone? I don't remember. I feel like no.
Remember. Yeah.
I feel like he didn't use his friends and family like for evil characters.
Also, her face changed so much throughout.
Yeah. It almost made sense that it was like the most random one.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I feel like he mostly used his friends and family for like the good characters, but this film had so many characters that was still like 15 people or something.
Yeah.
Pretty funny stuff.
Yeah.
A shocking film. Any other last call funny or crazy moments before we give this thing a rating? I don't really have anything crazy in my notes. I do think it is insane that at the end he teams up with the man who shot him over like a woman. It's just like like the women are that evil in Kenya Cagle films that literally like a more sympathetic character is like the guy who killed you.
Yep.
And I just thought the initial shooting scene on the street was really funny because like the whole movie was mostly just about like the basketball game. And then at that point he's in the street. It like cuts to the guy who's about to shot him. And it's this like really elegant, like swoopy, like mafioso with an old timey gun.
Yeah.
And it just like totally doesn't match the style or anything. It's just like such a fucking weird sight. Like that also really unsettled me. It reminded me of like a dream I would wake up from screaming.
Yeah.
Even though nothing like scary had happened in it yet.
Yeah. It was very like dreamlike. I know that people say that about AI a lot, but like when you watch a movie for this long, I started to feel like I was dreaming.
Yes.
Strange stuff.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah. Keep up the good work, Kenya Cagle. We will definitely be continuing to watch his films. I don't know how many more of his AI films will fit in, but I still think this was like a super interesting study of, and honestly, kind of turned me on the idea of AI as a creative force because so much of his human touch came through, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
But should we give this one an official rating? Man of the night?
I'll give it 1 out of 1 mayors saved from a church bombing perpetrated by right-wing lunatics.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the reason why this really, for all we know, a very, very bad police commissioner is kept in her position, despite the whole city being upset and her refusing to investigate a string of brutal murders in the city.
And by the way, she's the sympathetic character.
Yeah.
I am going to give this Psalm 23 out of Psalm 23.
Yeah.
Ever since the bridge incident, many times the commissioner has been found sitting in silence, whispering to herself Psalm 23 repeatedly, which I thought was a weird way to phrase that, since if you're saying something repeatedly, it's not in silence. But
yeah, also doesn't really...
I guess I should focus on the fact that it's Psalm 23. There's probably something there.
I guess that was also the most like Christian moment in the film too. I mean, this was not all of Kenya Cagle's films are very Christian forward, although that is like a strong motif in his movies. But this one that kind of brought it home. The Bible exists in this universe. Yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. AI with the human touch. I do believe it is possible. Thank you, Reverend Kenya Cagle, MBA. I am going to have to give this movie 1991 out of 1991, the greatest year ever. We're going to have the best life ever.
Wow.
Yeah. Too many insane lines in this movie to remember them all. You should probably check it out yourself if you can stomach an AI feature. We highly recommend. Or if you want something shorter, watch episode 1 and 2 of Our Man Kent, also by Kenya Cagle, which it might be even a little more lighthearted, maybe a little easier to swallow. So that's our rec. But
the bad guy in Our Man Kent was a big fat guy too. This guy
really?
Really doesn't like overweight people.
Yeah, he uses like
maybe AI doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a motif of like, fat equals like, kind of corrupt in some way.
Yeah.
In his movies is very interesting. Well, yeah, if you're listening to this, we want to thank you so much. And if it's your first time here, why don't you check out boysbiblestudy.com to hear all of our public episodes. But for Boys Bible Study content every week, why don't you subscribe at patreon.com/boysbiblestudy. For $5, you can get all of our Patreon episodes. And for $20, you can get signed up for our monthly DVD program, Bootleg Bible Study, of which our first DVD is about to go out. And
yes,
Scott's
actually, as of listening to this pod, it should be on its way already.
Fantastic. Yeah, thanks for everyone who's signed up so far. We appreciate all the support that project's gotten so far. We're going to keep it fun. Also, our outro song is Oh My God by Mary. So from all of us here at Boys Bible Study, myself, Ash, my co-hosts, Scott and Julian, and our man Kent and our man Damien, we would like to say, peace be with you.
And also with you.
And also with you. And also with you.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I feel your love in me, it's coming from within. Oh my God, my devotion is so unwavering. Divine emotions when you enter me.